Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from around the world, from whichever far-flung corner of the galaxy you're choosing to join us here tonight in GP Utrecht. It's a warm welcome to you from Riley Knight in the booth covering the finals of this enormous GP. To my right, the Pro Tour Hall of Famer Raphael Levy from France, and to my left, the Pro Tour champion Simon Goertzen. I'm in exalted company indeed, my friends, and so are you. Here in the feature match area, we have the finalists of this tournament. Thousands upon thousands of people descending upon Utrecht to make magic history this weekend, and only two remain. Davide Yergoni and Lars Rosengren, the Italian-German grudge match. And we'll see who's going to triumph and be crowned our champion. The head judge, Kim Warren, sitting in the back there, keeping a watchful eye on the proceedings. And we saw a thrilling conclusion to the match in the semi-finals just previously, with Lars Rosengren getting up with his 5-color domain deck. What's he up against, Zima?
He's up against a 4-color, 4-5-color deck as well. It's going to be pretty much the same game, the same match Lars played, but it's against a better deck, I think.
Yeah.
I think Davide's deck is even better. So
these players consulting their opening hands here. Can see a Tribal Flames amongst the many other fixing cards in Rosengren's hand. We've talked about this 5-color archetype, Simon, very heavily based in red and green.
Yes, and that's something special. You can only really fix your mana sufficiently well for 5-color in red-green with the basic land cyclers. And of course you do have colors fixing as well. Now Lars Rosengren not only played this very well, but his deck seems to be very straightforward.
Yeah.
Just going really with the domain cards. Prioritizing removal, almost like a classical limited deck, but with the bonus feature of just having all types of basic lands.
Yeah, that's true. I saw a diverse array of removal from everything from Tribal Flames to Dismember in his deck here. So it seems like he's put together a real little number.
Yeah, and the sequencing of his removal was basically the most important decision he made in the semis, at least.
Here's a 3-crossed 4/4 on turn 3. Not such a bad start, but immediately arrested. Police would like to take him into questioning.
Yeah, Davide's deck is mostly, I think it's a 4-color, like everything but red, and we've seen some pretty cool cards.
Yeah,
we've seen Mirren Crusader, we've seen Scoot Mob, we've seen Edged Champion, no Edged Oracle.
Edged Oracle.
Edged Oracle for the full 4 Sunburst. Yeah. And some arrests to go with it.
Here's Azorius Chancery helping Yergoni hit his colors and his land drops, of course.
Yeah, and Lars might be in trouble because his deck is set up to put up a little bit of board presence and then really work through the opponent's board with removal. But if your creatures get arrested, suddenly you're playing catch-up, which is not what this deck wants to be doing.
Helium Squirter immediately eating a fiery fall there. So Rosengren able to deploy some of his removal in a timely fashion here. But the board more or less all locked up and empty at this stage.
Yeah, this is where Rosengren really needs some Eldrazi.
Another rest.
Arrest number 3 for Yergoni.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. Blinding Soul Eater again, but more or less a removal spell, but it does also get into the red zone there, Raph.
Yeah, Lars did draw a really nice card here in Vengeful Rebirth.
2 for 1.
Kablamo, how about that? Get that fiery fallback. It's already done 6 damage. And it's going to do another 6 damage by proxy, and then another, 5 damage. Getting a little bit carried away with myself, is he, man?
On the other hand, he did waste a removal spell on a creature that was actually not relevant at that point. I guess Lars has more than enough removal spells. It's just if he has Pelakka Worm is the
double Tribal Flame to kill Pelakka Worm.
The greenest of Eldrazi. 7 life and a card if it gets killed. So Lars would really like one of these arrests.
Yeah, absolutely. Arrest, a pretty solid answer to the 7/7. But we've talked about the conditional removal that is found in the colors like red, and Lars sort of flooding out a little bit here, Simon.
Not really. He is holding Fiery Fall into Tribal Flames, so Pelakka Worm is definitely a card that he could have killed.
Yeah, does he another Fiery Fall? That's very bad. That's so sad to have 4 removal in hand, and facing a 7/7. You're gonna have to use 2 removal And your opponent's still going to draw a card.
But the thing is,
Well, he has to do it.
Lars's draw step was very unlikely to yield him a card that
Yeah.
could trade with the
That's true.
Palaka Worm 1 for
That's
1.
true. That's true.
So I don't know why he took the 7 damage
Yeah.
at all.
Because did he have the eighth land?
He had exactly that. He passed the turn with Fiery Fall into Tribal Flames.
But did he have the 8 mana? Yeah. Okay.
So anyway you slice it, that Palaka Worm has been dealt with. The Alloy Mir, the only creature left standing once the dust has fallen. And here is Scoot Mob.
Scoop Mob is just amazing.
It's gonna meet a Trouble Flames.
Rampant growth here. Going to take Yergoni's mana base to the next level as he finds a swamp. So, just missing red at this stage. And a Fiery Fall off the top for Rosengren.
No, it's a Matka Ray Tears, I think.
Here's Tribal Flames.
If David at any point in this game had something to protect one of his creatures,
Yeah.
that would have been an absolute blowout. Even just an Apostle's Blessing against this kind of in this kind of matchup.
Matka Riders, another 4/4 for 3 here. Coming at a very competitive rate in these domain decks.
It's a Tumble Magnet. No, it's an Element Crusher. Oh wow.
Orlamog's Crusher here in the hand of the Italian.
But he's also holding
An arrest.
Skyreach Manta, so he can.
Skyreach Manta? He has both of them?
I thought so.
Here's a rest.
This looks like Skyreach Manta mana to me.
And here
that's
is
right.
Skyreach mana for 5, thanks to that Alloy Mir providing Yergoni with red mana. So that's a huge turn there.
So clearly also playing red.
And Fiery Fall immediately taking care of the Manta. Look at this. Trading blows. Battle Cruiser magic at its finest between these two wizards here.
Oh, you can get it in for 2. Lars is down to 8. That means in
9.
theory, well, to 9, yeah. So in theory, he can take one of the 8 damage hits by the Crusher. But if you're relying on Tribal Flames and Fiery Falls, dealing with Ulamog's Crusher is really difficult.
Kozilek's Predator.
Is he just going to chain this into Ulamog's Crusher?
Seems like that is the plan. Here is Ulamog's Crusher emptying his hand in very, very convincing fashion. Yergoni, look at that. The 8 mana 8/8 is going to get it done. The German content to scoop up his cards. Not many options remaining for him after that that huge flurry of spells there from the Italian, taking out game 1 in very convincing style.
Yeah, I like the way he plays his deck. I actually like his deck. It makes a lot of sense. It did not. He's not playing a Mountain for no reason. He uses the Alloy Mir to get the red mana to.
Of course, and if you play the Skyreach Manta as a 4/4, it's still a great deal.
Yeah, but I like the way his deck is built.
I agree, and there's something interesting here because, in a way, these decks are very similar with a lot of removal spells. It's just burn spells against arrests, but of course, arrests deal with any creature, whereas the burn spells are not able to touch the largest monsters.
But you can reach the opponent. What happened in the last match?
Yes, but that requires a certain matchup, right?
Yeah.
And if David is able to stop your early creatures without much problem, then Lars is in trouble against the huge creatures. Almost like he was in the semis, where he did manage to do some pretty nice sideboarding. So Terashi's Grasp definitely a nice
very good
include here. I would play every disenchant I have.
Oh
in
yeah,
my
of
pool.
course.
3 arrests there proving pretty critical for the Italian in terms of keeping his opponent's game plan contained. But Rosengren really put together a spicy meatball here. Funny how a card like Viashino Slaughtermaster, for its double strike mainly, a plan for the red decks, but here actually, a respectable threat, seeing as it can be, it can have its ability activated by this domain deck.
Yeah, it's funny to see these kind of cards that are your excuse, like for not having only late game spells. And of course, you would play Matka Rioters over it, but you need some creatures in your curve, and draft doesn't always give you what you would love to have, but you're just going to play the most solid creatures in your pool. It's also, as we've seen, a strategy to get in early damage, and then these Tribal Flames and Vengeful Rebirth can actually burn the opponent out. So it doesn't matter how many arrests they play.
In any case, the Italian with enough disruption to foil the plans of Rosengren there. Yergoni enacting a pretty convincing and forthright victory.
David also sideboarding. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the weakest creatures in this matchup leave the table. David has a super high creature quality already from what we've seen. He only plays the best creatures he has, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some counter magic, some protection spells, and of course disenchant effects, naturalize effects for the arrest. So that basically we're going from creatures to removal to anti-removal measures.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, and certainly removing some of the lower card, not necessarily lower card quality, but the creatures that aren't going to have such an impact. We saw, characterized this match as Battlecruiser Magic. This is where huge spells are being thrown at the opponent, and getting 2/2s for 2 onto the battlefield isn't a priority for either of these guys.
The 2/2s for 2 are in the deck because you don't want to lose against Black-White Spirits' aggressive draws.
Yeah.
They aren't in the deck to beat down.
No, they're not in the deck to fight against Fiery Falls and Vengeful Rebirths and Palaka Worms.
Yeah. Palaka Worm, I think, is a pretty good example of why that's shouldn't be your main plan.
I think Lars's 2/2s are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, in Davide's plan, it's not very good because they're gonna face the Rioteers. But in Lars's plan, it's different. I
Exactly.
think he's facing arrests, and not low like you said, low quality creatures. So the 2/2s on Lars's side are much more efficient than on Davide's side.
Which, as a consequence, does mean that Lars is the aggressor in this matchup. Even if it's going to be a long game, he will want to close out things.
And that's a mulligan on Lars's side.
So chucking that back, see if you can do a little bit better.
I think he had a hand with like 4 or 5 mountains and a Bestial Menace.
Yeah. Yergoni, though, consulting his 7. What does he think of this one? Oh, the head goes into the hand. Bit of a scruff of that hair there.
No, that's a keep.
That's a keep. Oh, the soul read once again from the Pro Tour Hall of Famer. Ralph Levy knows what's up.
That's the hand of the guy who says, okay, he's mulliganing. I'm gonna crush this guy.
I'm gonna
win this GP. Look at the yes I keep. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see that in his eyes when he says yes I keep. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Calling and shooting from the hip. Ralph Levy, he knows exactly what's going on. You can see the need, the will to triumph etched into every tired line across this.
And it's actually a super strong hand too. He gets to Rampant Growth into a bounce land while also playing a 3-drop on turn 3, so no tempo disadvantage there. His hand is
the Mirror Crusader. Well, Mirror Crusader is not going to do as much as against other decks.
Still, his hand looks absolutely beautiful. This was not even close to a mulligan. This was just a super happy
keep. That's what I've been saying. The hand in the hair.
The hand in the hair was too much.
Yeah, okay. I keep. Yeah, I should be okay. I'll be fine.
I'll manage.
I'll try.
I'll try it.
Lars Rosengren also trying it. He did have land cycling, so at least that topic is out of the way. Oh, I like his start. That's
pairing out a 3/3, not a bad one. However, immediately eating a Sunlance. Yergoni with the answers.
Another one of these. Oh yes, can't reach match.
How about that? Goes and finds another forest now.
Yeah, Lars wants to untap, but no, there's more.
There's a Chancery.
So here we are, double Rampant Growth into Azorius Chancery. Pick up my forest. Now you can have a go, old son.
I'm going to play, let's say, no 4th land. Oh, Davide smells blood now.
4th land. There you go. The scent is on the wind, and the Italian Bloodhound's going to pick it up. With a hand full of action, Skyreach Manta, Arrest as well to take care of things, facing down a Lone Sickle Slicer and 3 lands in a domain deck.
I think a 4/4 flyer should be good here.
It's funny how he's facing a player with mountain, plains, and forest, so he knows that a top-decked swamp or island will most likely take out the Manta because of Tribal Flames. Only mountain, though. But he has a Proliferate spell. So next turn, he's basically out of reach.
So mountain.
Well,
the play
out of reach of Tribal Flames, not of Fiery Fall. But Fiery Fall is 2 mana. He's 2 mana away.
Too far away. I know. And Fiery Fall, I think, would have already gotten... Well, would most likely enhance the domain at this stage.
Rosengren tries it on. How about a Bloxy?
What? Oh, wow.
But Yergoni having none of it. And sends in the Manta for 4.
I would not play spread the sickness here.
If you can play Edge Champion instead. Edged Oracle.
Edged Oracle.
Edged Oracle for 4.
All right, another 4/4.
Not just any 4/4.
Not just any old 4/4, Raphael Levy, a 4/4 that can draw you 3 cards at a moment's notice.
And that's going to proliferate too. It's going to be a 5/5.
Yeah, not that that's really necessary.
Maybe I would actually kill the token now.
Yeah, David is actually threatening to win in 2 turns. Not through the token, but I could actually see just arresting too.
Oh, resting token. You're doing something to a token.
Yeah. It's a brutal game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power is
Like
really shining through here.
Davide's deck is very good.
Yeah, I think the proliferate plan does protect you from cards like Savage Twister.
Yeah.
Because the Edge Oracle will draw cards as well.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a major thing, but it's definitely something to
Yeah,
consider.
spread the sickness. He has a rest for the next creature anyway. So it's 10 and 10.
So
And if
there's
you-
the plan. Yergoni taking care of business. Here we go with 2 5/5s now.
If you ever
2
get to put 6 counters on the Oracle.
Yeah,
Oh
and-
boy.
yeah.
And a Mirren Crusader just to back things up. Rosengren checks with the top of his deck. Has he got anything at all?
Savage would not have been enough.
Wildfire,
Kill
not
everything.
enough.
Wildfire, not enough.
We find Tribal Flames to take care of the Mirren Crusader. And as a follow-up,
Oh, wow.
it's Wrecking Ball to take care of the Etched Oracle. Lars Rosengren keeping his head above water just barely.
Lars is in this game.
Yeah.
I think-
He's back in this game because Davide tapped out.
Yes. David tapped out with the Edge Oracle. He thought he
Not
couldn't
anymore.
lose.
Not anymore.
Down to 1
Yeah.
with a Kozilek's Predator and a Skyreach
That's
Manta
not
on
good.
the other side of the table.
But
That's
Lars had the Bestial Menace and the
Yeah.
Vengeful Rebirth. If David doesn't draw Kozilek's Predator
Yeah,
there,
he's in trouble.
Lars is in pretty good shape.
Yeah. But he drew a creature. Yeah, tapping out for the Mirror Crusader was a little greedy.
When you thought there was no way to
Yeah.
lose. That's always the tricky part. It certainly wasn't necessary, but Lars is now realizing that
And
it's
that's
not
it.
enough.
There we go. We do have a conclusion. Congratulations to our champion of GP Utrecht in 2015. It is Davide Yergoni taking it all the way to the red zone here. And congratulations to the Italian. Well done indeed to him with a 4-color deck that has managed to take care of his business. The Italian Bloodhound smelling the blood on the air and triumphing over his opponent in very, very convincing fashion.